Welcome to the third slide, where we're going to be talking about the lifespan case study and the rubric. So if you go into Blackboard and you go to the syllabus and rubrics folder, you will find a rubric for the lifespan case study. That should be your favorite document when it comes to this because it shows you everything you need to do to be successful in this project. Starting with what topics you need to cover. So, reading from the rubric, adequately discusses each major stage of the human lifespan: infancy/toddlerhood, early childhood, middle childhood, adolescence, early adulthood, middle adulthood, and late adulthood. Now, if your person is still alive or the memoir does not cover past age 60, that's fine. You do not need to cover late adulthood, but you do need to cover at least from early childhood to the end of middle adulthood. And I strongly suggest that you arrange your paper in that order. So you start with an introduction, just like, this is my person and they did this cool, they lived from there to there and they did this cool thing. And then you start talking about their early childhood and then their middle childhood. If they have their infancy, you can start there. So infancy, early childhood, middle childhood, then adolescence, early adulthood, and middle adulthood, and then if the late adulthood is covered in your book, you'll talk about that. But if you go in chronological order, that's probably the easiest way for you to organize your paper. From there, again, reading from the rubric, adequately discusses historical factors impacting the subject's physical, cognitive, and socio-emotional development. So, as we're learning, our context, where we live, who we live with, that kind of thing impacts our development. That's very important. So you need to talk about that. You need to talk in their early childhood about what kind of parents they had, their relationship with who they lived with, their neighborhood, that kind of thing. In middle childhood and adolescence, you need to be talking about where they went to school, how they were educated. In early adulthood, and you need to be talking about their careers, what jobs they got, that kind of thing. And then in middle adulthood, you need to be talking about their families, if they have one, what kind of decisions they made in terms of family structure. That will kind of help you with your historical and cultural context, especially so if you're studying a Black person before the Civil Rights Act, that's going to be really important to talk about their context, what they could and could not do, especially if they were living in the South. But again, race here and today also impacts a person's context and who they are and how they interact with the world and their development. So that's going to be a really important thing to talk about. So their context, their overall historical, cultural context. Then, applies multiple developmental theories discussed in class. So think about all of the theories we're discussing in class. We're talking about Piaget, we're talking about Erikson, we're talking about Vygotsky, we're talking about Bronfenbrenner, we're talking about Noam Chomsky. These theorists developed theories that we are learning about, and you need to apply these theories to your person, just like we're applying theories to the people we read about in the homework excerpts. That's actually why we're doing the homeworks this way, is so that you can practice applying theories in a structured way so that when you do your lifespan case study, you know what to look for and how to do it. And then finally, clearly demonstrates an understanding of the development theories discussed in class. So if you're doing well on the homeworks, then you'll be just fine. But you do need to show that you understand the theories, that you're correct in your application of the theories. So you understand the difference between Bronfenbrenner's microsystem and macrosystem and can correctly identify that the parents belong in the microsystem. I hope that helps. And if you have more questions about how to frame the lifespan case study, please be sure to put it in your 3-2-1s for this week, and we'll talk more about it next week.